Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Well, it's warmed up, and the snow is melting quickly. I'm happy to say I even have one of the windows in my studio open because it's nice and warm today. So today we are going to talk about crochet. I have been making snowflakes to decorate for Christmas, to put in the tree or hang up somewhere or in my booth, whatever. So anyways, I made a few different sizes. I have this little one here. Now the little ones, you may not have to stiffen these because they're so small, they might stay, but I think I might stiffen mine, I don't know. So that's one little one. Oh no, I'm missing the other one. Oh, it disappeared. I have this one pretty one that is small. I wanted to show you guys because it's so pretty. I hope a cat didn't steal it. Believe me, they will. Anyway, so there's the small ones. Then I did this one. And let's see. And I have this one. Now, these crochet patterns for snowflakes, they are all over the internet for free. They have all kinds of different ones, very pretty. So the ones I made, I chose to use size 10 white crochet thread. And this is the one, I'm not sure you can see it or not, but it has the silver filament in the thread. So this makes it glittery, kind of glittery and sparkling. So anyways, what I want to do next is, especially the large ones, I want to stiffen them so that they stay. And there are several different ways this can be done. You can go to the store and buy fabric stiffener, which works well. And it's, I think, pretty much like a permanent thing. There are many various ways to do it homemade. Let's see. Oh, the old-fashioned way. I have done this before. I haven't done it in years. But you make a sugar water. Kind of like a simple syrup thing, but you want it thicker. So you're putting more sugar, which works great. But if you have any humidity or anything like that, it's going to wilt eventually. So the one I found that's homemade, that works the best, lasts the longest, is just using simple white glue and water. I usually I do equal parts most of the time. So this is what I'm going to show you what I'm doing today. So all I do is I get a container and I'm going to pour in some glue. And you can, if you have leftovers, if you're done stiffening your crochet projects and you think you're going to use it within a reasonable amount of time, you could, put an airtight lid on this. Okay, so I'm going to pour some water in here. I'm not measuring anything. Now, I do not have city water, thank God. It's so bitter to me. We have groundwater. So I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm just going to pour some in. And then, I used to have a whole bunch of these little wooden dowels all over the place. I don't know where I put them. I was going to use it as a store. I can't find them. So I'm just going to use the end of one of my paintbrushes. This is one of my paintbrushes that is on the way out. So anyway, so you mix it up until it's thoroughly incorporated. Now I'm thinking this might be a little too thin. I might add a little bit more glue. Now the thing with this, when we get to the wringing it out part, you have to make sure you have wrung it out really good. Especially with something lacy like this, with all the holes in it, spaces. Come on, mix. Yeah, so this one, it's a bit watery. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more glue. Yeah, you just do everything by ear. You guys know I cook like that too. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to stir this in. Okay. Also, what you want to get yourself is something that you can block your snowflakes on. Blocking is when you stretch it out, you know, get it into the shape that you want it to. Okay, so you're going to have to pin it down. So what I do is I use cardboard. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, I think this is better. Okay. I am looking for my glasses. There you see. So anyways, what I did was I got some cardboard. Now, I would think something like saran wrap, you know, plastic wrap would work better, but I don't use that much, so I don't have it around. I use parchment paper, and I just like taped it down. This way, as your snowflakes dry, they're not going to stick to the cardboard. You'll be able to get them off of this, okay? So, I think I'm going to adjust my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so first, don't mind my mess here. Okay, so I'll take my largest one, and what I'm going to do is put it in this solution of water and glue, and you're going to make sure, you want to make sure it gets all the way through. You want to make sure it's totally soaked. So kind of like, you want to massage it in like this, okay? Just make sure it gets all the way through, because you want to make sure these are really, really stiffened. And these look so pretty when they're hanging up for Christmas decorations or Hanukkah, any winter time thing. Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever. Yule would be for me. Okay. Yeah, I love that I had the white thread with the silver filament. It just looks really sparkly and everything. I think it's going to look even better after this is stiffened and dried. Okay, so what you want to do next is you want to make sure you get all the excess stiffener out, because, all right, you have these, you know, when you have something lacy, you have all these spaces. So if you don't get it, I'm trying to look for one, you're going to have, like, right here, there's the stiffener is in the space, and you don't want that. So you do want to make sure that you get as much out as you possibly can. Also, the more stiffener you have in here, the longer the drying time. So we don't want that either. So, you know, sometimes I will do this just to hasten it a bit. Okay. And also, your hands get very sticky and yucky. Okay. There we go. I may have to put you guys on hold so I could go wash my hands before I get to the next step. I forgot how, I haven't done this in quite some time, so I forgot how messy it can be. You can use gloves if you want to. I'm not a big glove person. I hate them. I don't know, they just don't feel good to me. That's why you hardly ever see me using them in the garden. Plus, I love the feel of the soil in my hands. But like for something like this, I just feel very klutzy with gloves on. Okay. So it should, you know, look like this. And this will shrink up a little bit as you're doing it, or feel like it, look like it. Okay, so I'm going to put this on my board. Okay. You want to make sure it's all flat. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute here because my hands are really bad. Okay, so my hands feel better now. So what you want to do next is you want to pin these to the cardboard while they're drying. You try to get pins that are like stainless steel that won't rust. So you kind of put it in the shape you want. When you get it where you want it, you just pin it in like that. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing here. So anyways, I think it was a few weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I told you guys I was very excited. I got a message from my cousin. She asked me to go. I don't go out very much, you know, it's a Scorpio thing. I just don't like, too much energy is overwhelming for me, and when I'm out in public, I get that. But so I like to stay home. But every once in a while, for something special like this, I will go out. So she asked me to go to this dinner. It's a psychic medium reading dinner. It's at a supper club, which I have never been to before. And, you know, they usually have music or some kind of entertainment there while you eat dinner. But tonight is a psychic medium. And so my cousin asked me to go. And I'm really excited about it. I can't wait. I'm not expecting messages. I asked our family to concentrate more on my cousin. You know, I don't need a message. I hear spirits enough. And my cousin does too. It's a hereditary thing in our family for some reason. And I have heard, and I don't know how true this is, that, you know, Appalachia, weird happenings are very common there, which is where our family's from. My dad is from a town called Merrittstown, Pennsylvania, in Fayette County. I think both of her parents are from Dawson in Pennsylvania. I think Dawson. Somebody in her, there's some people in her family in Dawson. I can't remember who's where anymore. Anyways, it runs in our family, and I hear it's common in Appalachia, and I sometimes wonder, all right, does it have to do with those who migrated here as in nationality? What is it? I don't know. All I know is I love the Allegheny Mountains. I'm very partial to them. They are beautiful. And I loved going there in the summers to my grandparents' farm. Let's see. So, yeah, my cousin did mention I call it the family curse. I think other people in the family think it's a blessing. I don't know. There are times I think it's a blessing. Sometimes I think it's a curse. I don't know. It comes and goes depending on what's going on in my life, I guess. But it should be interesting. So, yeah, so I think her dad is my dad's uncle. There's another thing that happens in Appalachia. Your generations are very close in age. I swear I'm in awe of my grandmother and how she did 5 boys. She raised 5 boys. And her youngest, my youngest uncle, is 6 years older than I am. So I'm 61. He'll be 69 now. It's just the way it goes. So that's how, you know, her dad and my grandpap are brothers. My grandpap's the oldest boy. It's another generation that was all boys. It was my grandpap's. But anyways, yeah. So I think this comes from my great-grandmother's side, and my great-great-grandparents came from Wells. I think Wells. My cousin probably knows better than I do because my great-grandmother is her grandma. And I've always been very, very drawn to my great-grandmother. And I just found out she is, I forgot who else is, my cousin's spirit guide. So I think that's cool. My great-grandmother died the year I was born, so it was like right before I was born. And I don't know, there's just, I think the things I'm interested in, the talents I have, they actually the same as hers. So I think maybe that's what the draw was. I never knew what it was until my one uncle, who, you know, everybody has at least one member who's the family historian. It's my one uncle. And you want to know something, you ask him. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I did have a viewer ask if I would share the results. I don't believe that I am allowed to record it, but I will do a short video on it. I think, if it, you know, depending how it goes. I really don't, I'm not really expecting anything. So, you know. So anyways, I'm looking to see, do I have this? This probably could use a few more pins. So, this is what it looks like, pinned down. Now, this method, I believe, is the shortest amount of time to drying. So I'm expecting in a few hours, this might be, you know, stiff enough for me to put a little hanger on it or something so I could hang it up. I did want to kind of bring a couple of these for my cousin tonight, but I don't know. I didn't get the chance to get it done in time, so I may have to give it to her at another time. So anyways, so this is how this works. I will try to get a picture in here of what they look like stiffened. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.